Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Greg Ryder Show. And on today's podcast, we had Myles Rivoire, and he grew up playing hockey, playing different divisions, and he actually started music at around the age of 15, which was more of kind of screamo and metal, and he really got involved with that scene, doing battle of bands and putting on incredible shows. And he was actually, a very interesting fact was, he was on a MTV show called Discovered, and they actually followed his band around, and they got to kind of film a little documentary about kind of getting kind of more famous in the Calgary scene. And he actually won a battle of bands for AMP Radio and won $200,000, which funded the complete music videos and albums, and didn't owe anything to his label after. So we get to touch base on kind of what it was like to get that taste of success in his early 20s. And when they disbanded, what kind of happened to him mentally? Like, where was he at? And we just got to kind of see where Myles is at today. He's now in a country band called Wilder, and he's with the same guys that he used to play in the screamo bands together. So they have a killer live show, and I'm excited to just kind of dive deeper with Myles today. So let's get into the show. Okay, welcome to the Greg Ryder Show, and on today's podcast, we're with Myles Rivoire, and I'm here. I'm happy to have you on, because I think I've been kind of following your journey for the last little bit and kind of seeing what you've been up to, and I can just tell by your tattoos and your posting. I'm like, this guy's got a story, and I was 100%. I kind of wanted to yeah, I think it'd be cool to kind of bring you on and just kind of talk about some things. So welcome.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for having me. And
yeah,
I'm glad to be here. So
yeah. So I don't know. First off, we can start where were you raised? Where were you born? Kind of who are you? So yeah, born and raised Calgary boy. Yeah. South Calgary, just hockey guy growing up. Nice.
Yeah, played right until I started music, pretty much.
Okay.
And I kind of left playing hockey to start music.
What kind of hockey did you grow up playing?
I played, if you know what the Buffaloes are, Calgary Buffaloes.
Okay.
The South Quadrant.
Double A?
Yeah, Double A. I played Bantam Triple A, Double A, and then I played Junior B, and then after I played Junior B, then I dove into music.
Jungle B.
Yeah, Jungle B. Yeah.
Yeah. I went I did all Double A through my life, and then our high school team was really competitive, and then I thought about going to juniors, but I was just I just knew that I didn't love it enough to go the next level. And it's funny, I actually, one big thing was I had these guys that it was a massive bully thing. Back then, there was some the hockey room culture back then, and I remember being a rookie and a sophomore on the high school team, and the seniors ruined it for me.
Oh yeah, I definitely went through that stuff too. I went to a hockey high school.
Yeah. And
I was kind of an emo scene kid who played hockey.
Yeah.
And they did not like that. So I pretty much got bullied out of the school.
And it's tough, because I remember thinking about juniors, and I'm I don't want to go back into being a rookie again. And I think the stuff that happened back in our times, I don't think it'd fly now.
Oh no. I remember a rookie party where some stuff went on, and I'm that would not fly nowadays.
I know. And that's kind of just, that's life. And I remember if I told some stories about the hockey change room stuff back then, it's just it's nuts. And I was just I remember nope, I don't really want to be a part of this anymore.
Yeah, that was kind of same for me. Yeah. Kind of just lost it at a certain point. So I still play now. Do you still play?
No.
I
can't. Once I hung them up, I was if it's not competitive, it's hard for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in competitive men's league, and I've been with the same team for 10 years now. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's
I don't know why. I think I went to a sport that I felt like I get money off school. So I actually was playing like beach volleyball, and
Okay,
then
nice.
I turned into indoor volleyball, and then I went to college and played indoor volleyball and got like a little kind of some scholarship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So kind of did that. I was like, I don't think I'm going to get picked up for any hockey schools.
Yeah.
And I'm like wanting to kind of go to school because at that point my dream was to be a sports broadcaster. So
Okay.
went to school for TV broadcasting.
Yeah.
Kind of decided that's what I wanted to be back then.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so you played hockey.
Yeah.
Did you go to school or anything after that, or how late did you play
No,
hockey till?
I played till junior B, and then after that is when I kind of found that music was like music was kind of like a passion of mine since I was like 15.
Okay, so you were singing for a while.
I was singing for a bit, and then I wanted to take it more serious.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't really be doing both because hockey was like, it was pretty busy. You're traveling and stuff like that, right? So I took a year off and then just like dove hard into music and yeah, I never went to school. I just like we talked before, I run a drywall business, so I kind of did that on the side as I was like doing my music stuff and yeah.
You're part of like a band now called Wilder.
Yeah.
But that always wasn't the case. Like you're kind of more country rock now, but like
Yeah.
back when you first started music, like what were your influences back then when you were kind of growing up?
So when I was younger, I was like a big metalhead, like hardcore stuff. I would go to like community center shows where everybody was.
Oh, you were one of those
moshing.
guys that went to like YMCA's?
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
We would set up on the floor
And you play?
Oh yeah, I played in
you were
hardcore
like
bands too.
You were a battle of the bands guy.
Oh yeah. So like
That's
you
awesome.
set up on the floor, everybody be moshing around you, like
Yeah.
So I was into like the heavier stuff, and then so I used to like scream and stuff.
Yeah.
But then
I heard you're a good screamer, actually.
yeah,
That's kind of a weird thing to say.
I've heard you're a good screamer.
I remember Dennis was like, no, you should hear Myles like go off on the screams. I was just like, no one realized there's an art to that.
Oh, there is, because you can really hurt your.
There's an art
Stuff.
to that. It's just like,
Yeah.
but he was just like, like he's got a sick like screamo voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty cool.
We actually slipped one into one of our songs, actually.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Just
That like it's so open now. Like country music is just so wide open. It's like it's like the Hoover Dam.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
they let anything in now.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like, come on in, Beyonce.
Yeah,
What else you got?
yeah.
So you were a Battle of the Bands guy playing like those shows.
Yeah, those heavy shows, we put them on ourselves and stuff too. Like, well, young kids would promote them, charge $5 at the door, right? And so I did that for like a long time, and then I think when I was about 18, I started to sing a little bit more.
Okay.
Get away from the screaming.
Yeah.
I know my parents weren't a big fan of that. We used to jam in their basement and scream like 5 times a week. Yeah. But so they enjoyed that a little bit more. I started to sing, and I joined a band called For the Weekend.
Yeah.
And that's with all the guys in my band now were in that band back
Nice.
then. So we were on a show called Discovered for Much Music.
Yeah.
We kind of got picked up because we made a little bit of noise around Calgary.
Yeah.
We played this show where we rented a community center. We sold it out. We sold like 600 tickets or something like that. We filmed it and we sent it to Much Music, and they were like, "Yeah, we need this band on the show."
Nice.
Like we had people hanging from the rafters. It was like it was a wild time.
What age was that?
That was probably around 18.
18.
Yeah.
Just going for it. You're like, this is what we want to do.
This is what we want to do.
That was the
yeah.
dream.
That was the dream. Yeah. So Much Music saw that. They picked it up, and they cast us for this show called Discovered. Mm-hmm. It was a spin-off of Disband. So they followed I think 5 bands from across Canada and just did a little documentary on them.
Yep.
And at the end of the show, we got to like play at Much Music. We had Greg Norrie from Treble Charger was our like guru.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he kind of taught you the ropes and stuff.
Yeah. We actually wrote a song with Justin Bieber's guitar player too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like you got into the industry early.
Yeah.
And I think that's either a very good thing or a very bad thing, because then you start to see a little bit of success back then.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you stay relevant going into your later years?
Yeah.
Where some people start later and then they stay relevant for longer.
Yeah.
It's almost like you get this burst of like fame and this burst of people like kind of like, yo, you guys are crushing it. It's just like, how do you stay relevant with the changing times and
100%.
And the different trends in music?
Yeah.
That's tricky, but
yeah, for sure. I feel like our band was always like, we never had any downtime. It's like we started the band and everything just was like, we were flying right from the beginning. Like after that show, I told you earlier too that we won this Battle of the Bands in Calgary for Amp Radio, and we won $200,000.
So you guys won that, and then how'd you guys do on Disbanded? How'd you guys do on?
So there was no winner. There was no winner for that one because they on Disband they would like bring you on, and there would be a panel of judges, right? And you'd play a song for them, and they would tell you to disband or you get signed to a label or something like that. But they changed it. So this was just a documentary. They just followed you around kind of thing.
There was no carrot at the end of the road?
No, it was just, they came to our jam space. Like they came to Calgary. They filmed us at a show. They filmed us traveling. We took a Greyhound bus from Calgary to Toronto to play our show because we couldn't really afford to fly. So
they came with you and actually filmed.
Well, they gave us a camera, so that was pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you feel like back then, learning like the kind of ropes and stuff? Like, obviously, what was your taste of like the music industry at that point? It's kind of cool. I like that they did this documentary, but they kind of kept you guys like they were building up your independent band.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
Which is actually pretty cool because I feel like all the TV shows nowadays are all about like, yeah, we'll give you like all this attention, but you're going to sign something at the end.
But you're going to sign something at the end.
And we own you.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It was like, how many times American Idol? It's just like, you don't get it. It's like, if you get top 20, you're going to get a little bit of that push.
Yeah.
But if you go any deeper than like top 20, it's like, you're going to start looking at contracts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So for us, it was kind of like right after that show, we won that $200,000, and then labels started approaching us right away
because of the Discovered.
You
kind of have those like really good quality videos.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing our shows, like we were opening for like Faber Drive and These Kids Wear Crowns. We opened for Fifi Dobson, and all of our shows were like, we would pack the place every single time.
Yeah.
So labels started coming out and then seeing us play these packed shows. We also played at the Coke stage at Stampede.
Yep.
And that field was full. Like we filled it. Like people couldn't believe that we could bring that many people. Yeah. So this label XOXO Entertainment, which is a branch of Universal, approached us, and I think we were a little starry-eyed, and we signed a deal with them.
Do you remember like the little bit of the contract on like how much did they own like a certain amount of albums or?
We had a 1 album contract.
So 1 album contract, and anything that she was like kind of like paid for, then like you guys would owe on the back end.
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much that. But
and that's all they took. They didn't do a 360. They didn't take your merch. They didn't take
they didn't take any of that. So
that's pretty cool.
And luckily, because we won that $200,000, we pretty much floated the entire thing ourselves. So in the end, we didn't end up owing anything. Like, I don't know, it was a big learning experience. It was fun. Like they moved us out to Vancouver to record this album. So we were there for about 2 years. Like we'd go there for a few months, come back here for a month, and then go back out there for a few months. They had us living in a mansion that was like built into the cliff on the ocean. It was like, we weren't paying for anything either. It was like parties every night. Like it was, I don't know, when you're that young and you get a little taste of that stardom a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of messes you up a little bit, but
I'm kind of living vicariously through you a little bit. I'm trying to dig back into Myles' archives.
Yeah.
I feel like you've seen some stuff.
I've seen some stuff yet. It was a wild time.
I've seen some stuff too, but Myles has seen more.
But I do remember this one. I'm going to tell you a story of
yes.
We were at Canadian Music Week in Toronto, and our manager, he always wanted to do everything like so big and so wild. So he rented out the penthouse in the I can't remember what the hotel is downtown, the Host Hotel. I don't know if it's the Hyatt or something like that, or the Sheraton. I don't know, but we rented out the penthouse on the top, and he hosted a big party. So we were going around. We printed off condoms that had our band's
Perfect.
name on them and everything, and we had these two super hot girls going around handing them out to everybody with the room number on them for the party.
Yeah.
So like we had all these crazy artists up there. Like we had NBA basketball players, like Maple Leafs, like it was crazy at this party
In Vancouver.
in Toronto at Canadian
Toronto,
Music
sorry.
Week. Yeah, at Canadian Music Week.
Right in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was the penthouse. Like that was just a massive party.
Yeah. But I don't know, being exposed to that kind of life at a young age was like, I felt like we were always chasing that after. It's a hard thing to get, you know, when you get back to.
Do you have any confessions about P. Diddy or anything?
Oh no, never met P. Diddy. He was not at this party.
He stayed away from P. Diddy.
Yeah.
You know, you got a hold of Justin Bieber. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's but yeah, no, I understand, and I can see where that fame comes from. Like when you get a taste of it, and you start to see, like, you start to feel untouchable. And you start to feel like, like nothing can faze me. Like this, like life is always going to be this high.
It's always going to be that way. Yeah.
And I can see, like, you know, obviously, like I grew up kind of like music to me was late. And then I went to school for sports broadcasting. I kind of like took a little bit more of a scenic route. Like I moved to Montreal actually at age 22. And that's where I actually first started to play live. And I played like on street corners. I'd play in like open mics. Like I just knew I wanted to like be on a stage.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have the confidence yet. So like I had to move 6 hours away from my hometown in Ontario to like build up the confidence. And then I just started doing it more and more and more. But like my whole taste of like getting the music industry and like seeing the partying was when I moved to Nashville at 26.
Yeah.
And like I never planned on living down there, and I went down there on a 10-day trip because I was bartending in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
And then I went over to Nashville, and I just wanted to like, I wanted to just sing once on a Nashville stage, drunk or like whatever. I was like, people are like, man,
like
are
bucket
you?
list,
Yeah.
like
They're like, you want to go to Nashville and sing? I was like, man, I'd love to just like one night do one song, call it.
Yeah.
So I went there for a 10-day trip. Was just planning on partying and going on Broadway. And then on the fourth night, I just found myself at the bar, befriended the bartender. She gave me a song up on the stage. And then she said, if you ever find yourself back in Nashville, you have a gig here from 8 to 11 on Sundays. Walk back to my hotel where I was staying at.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I just book a show in Nashville? And then I woke up the next morning and canceled my flight back to the Cayman Islands. And just lived in Nashville.
Oh, that's a crazy story.
Yeah. So
Nice.
that's like, and I didn't know a single person down there. Like I like slept at the hostel for about a month. And then I stayed on that bartender's couch.
Yeah.
She gave me a couch up in her living room. And then the guy that gave me his guitar for the first song gave me the next month. I just was making it up. And then 6 months later, I was like full-time on Broadway, playing 6 nights a week. And like never played with a band before Nashville. And I just like jumped into the scene and just had no idea what it would feel like. And I just like, I learned things about me, how like addictive, like a personality I have, that like I got so caught up in it that I lived for that thrill, and I was constantly chasing it. It was kind of like a drug that like I could not turn down gigs. Like if my booking team was just like, hey, we got a gig for you in Ohio, in Pittsburgh, and like, or whatever, I was just like, put it on. And we did 310 band shows in a year.
Wow.
And just,
that's busy. Yeah.
And we were just sometimes doing doubles. We were doing like, and it was just go. And I just like, that's what burnt me out. But I saw like how dangerous of it was, because like I totally ignored everything. Mental health, like I didn't really even know anything about it. I was just go, get off stage, get a beer, get a shot, you know, go back to a hotel room, have a party, do some drugs. Like it was just like you're just living up here. Your vibration is always so high that you totally ignore the fundamentals of life.
100%. Yeah. You just chase that lifestyle, right?
You chase that lifestyle. And I think when I came back in 2018, I just like sat down in my family home, surrounded by my parents, and I booked a one-way home just to kind of like spend some time with my family.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "Hey, why haven't you booked a trip back to Nashville yet?" And I was like, "I don't know." I'm like, "I think I'm done." She's like, "What do you mean you're done?" And I'm just like, "I don't know. There's something telling me that like that life is kind of, it's not for me anymore." And I just like, I left my apartment. I left like, it was just, I almost just got up and left. Mm-hmm. It was just like, I felt like there was a side of me that was like, I was just going down way too destructive a path. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've got to change some things because I just realized how burnt out I was.
Yeah. There's just a dead end at that, with that lifestyle, right?
And I could have calmed down. I could have like accepted less shows. I could have done that. But like being a Canadian down there, like that's how I ate. That's how I paid rent.
Yeah.
That's how I lived. And like, you know, I just played music. Mm. But that's where I feel like we can obviously relate is the sense of like you got that at a younger age.
Yeah.
So tell me how, when you guys finally, how long were you together, and then when did you disband?
So we were called For the Weekend originally when we were on Discovered. We got signed, and they the Weekend actually contacted our label and
changed the name.
We had to change the name to Hey Bombshell.
Yeah.
And the label pretty much took our instruments away. Like we were pretty much a boy band after that, like wearing bow ties and like jumping around in suits.
Renting out penthouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I remember the day when we quit because we were filming a music video for this song that we wrote called #BFF.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So trendy.
Oh yeah, so trendy. We actually wrote all the music, but like he would like tell us what to write about, and we would write all the music, but just wasn't our jam. So I remember we were shooting this music video for BFF in Vancouver, and it was like 3 a.m. We were in this school. We've been shooting it like all day. And we were just exhausted, and we were planning to leave after we shot that video and head home. So we all jumped into the Kia Soul that we drove up there, all 4 of us with all of our stuff packed in there. And I just remember sitting in the car with the guys, and it was just like silent. And we just drove like literally all the way home, and nobody spoke.
So what do you think it was? What do you think kind of pulled you apart?
I think we were just done with what we were doing. So when we got back, we kind of had a discussion. We were like, this isn't what we want to do anymore. Like this literally isn't authentically who we are as artists.
And do you feel if you didn't get signed, do you think like there was a better chance of you guys staying together longer?
100%. I think so. I think if we continued on the path of the music that we were originally doing, we probably would still be doing it, I think.
And I think this is one thing that I don't think the average listener understands is the perception that a lot of these labels, like they're just kind of painting you in a way that they feel is going to sell.
100%.
But they don't care about who they are changing. And I think a lot of people don't realize how when you're young and when you see the money, or you see kind of like the fame and the stardom, like you're willing to do whatever.
To get there. Yeah.
And they change you, and I think that is such a scary thing, especially like in today's day and age with like how like TikTok and social media blows these people up.
Yeah.
And like
in like a day. Yeah, right. Like,
and then all of a sudden it's just like, we're gonna give you everything you could ever dream of, and like start touring.
Yeah.
It's like I almost feel bad. Because I'm just like, it's like part of me was like a little bit jealous and a little envious in the beginning, but I'm just like, it's tough. It's tough to kind of like, you get everything now on the front end.
Yeah.
What happens after?
Yeah.
What happens if you can't follow up all your hit singles, and you get a couple duds and you're in the bank, you owe all this money.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to pause this conversation quickly just to talk about one of our dear sponsors, Rocket Grid Marketing. They are an incredible Alberta-based digital marketing company, and they focus on growing brands. They focus on hitting business goal needs and whatever your business may need to take you to the next level. So if you want to check out more about what they do, head to rocketgrid.ca and see what they do.
Do you have ambitious business goals but not sure where to get started? We've got you covered. Rocket Grid Marketing, your integrated marketing experts.
That's scary to me.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But you guys luckily survived. That was cool that you guys won the AMP radio and you got the $200K,
yeah,
which funded
the whole thing.
Because that's the reason people sign labels, because they don't have funding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason. Like, obviously, yeah, they can open a couple doors for you and, like, you know, get you onto like big playlists and stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's because you want to go. You want to go fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you want to go fast, sign with a label. If you want to, like, you know, it's like, yeah. I was actually at Cody Johnson.
Oh, yeah. I wish I went to that. I'm a big fan.
Man, like, he is, like I said on my, like, he is in a league of his own.
Yeah.
Like, he is just so smart on his business and how, like, he was on stage talking about God. He was talking about how his faith is, like, his faith brought him through it. He talked about how he got his dream signing. They just took his publishing. So he pretty much signed, like, one of the most amazing contracts. Like, they don't own any of him. All they just do is a publishing deal.
Okay.
So, like, they just worked out pretty much just like his catalog, and they push his catalog hard, and they take a percentage of whatever comes in for that.
Oh, okay.
So, like, he said, I fought for this for 10 years. Like, he's like, I've been fighting for this record contract for 10 years. Tons of people wanted to change me. They said, nope, no one's going to listen to an actual rancher. No one's going to listen. And he's just like, thank you, goodbye. I'll stick to my own thing.
Stick to his own thing.
I know this is going to, like, hit. And, like, I'm getting shivers just talking about it, because, like, he'd stand on stage, he's crying, he's in tears, he's like, I'm sorry, like you don't understand that, like, if all the labels and everything went away, like, I would still play country music for you guys today.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just, like, it was so cool to, like, because, like, to see an actual role model in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, someone that, like, because for a long time, like, I didn't look up to country artists. Maybe when I was back drinking and stuff like that, I thought Luke Bryan, and I thought, like, you know, those guys were cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that would be kind of a cool life. But, like, as you get older, you're like, how many of these guys are, like, just really good men?
Yeah.
Like, really good men that are, like, you know, obviously, like, they are probably good fathers, like, most of them and stuff like that. But, like, a lot of them are putting on this show. And I'm just like Cody Johnson is one guy that I'm just like, he is such an amazing role model for people that, like, are coming up in this industry. And for him to be at the peak of his game right now is so cool.
Seems like he's a super authentic human. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like, he's like, raise your hand if you're under the age of 12 in here. And then, you know, he says, or around 18 or something like that. And he's just like, he spoke to every single kid in there, and he said, whatever you want to do in this life, it's possible. You're going to have to work at it. If you want to do this, like, you just know that, like, work ethic is still the thing that's going to get you to the top.
Yeah.
And I was like, wish I was still under 18. I'm just like, I would have loved to get that.
Oh, to get that kind of advice.
That
right?
advice back then. It's just like, oh, man. But no, it was so cool to see that, and, like, him just stay the course. Yeah. Because, like, I feel like the shiny object syndrome takes a hold of so many artists nowadays.
Many people. Yeah.
It's like, you see the contract, you see what this life could be, let's sign.
Yeah.
But you had kind of that taste, and, you know, you obviously had the party scenes and stuff like that. Tell me what happened after you guys disbanded, like, kind of where do you feel you were mentally kind of, like, leading into your life, and where were you in your life?
I feel like after that, like I know all of us in the band were pretty lost, I think, like not knowing what to do, because that was like our life forever.
Yeah.
We were trying so hard to make it, and then we did, and then it just all came crashing down. Like it was just all too much. So, but then I feel like after we did disband and stop making music, we all kind of took a little bit of a break. And I think that's when, I know for myself, like drugs and alcohol became a problem, because I feel like I was always chasing that high, that party, that life that I had before. So yeah, I feel like our lives just kind of spiraled out of control a little bit.
What age was that when you guys like stopped?
I think like 20, probably 24. 23, 24. Yeah, around then. Yeah.
And that's when kind of, the drinking and drugs.
Yeah, just kind of, yeah.
How do you feel like, how old are you now?
I'm 33.
33, same age as me. So
Yeah.
That's cool, because I feel like in my mind, like I know how normalized drinking was back then.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like that's all people do, you know, like when you're like, someone's like, you want to hang out? Let's go for a drink. You want to like every Friday and Saturday, it's just like a normal thing for people to do, right?
and obviously, you grew up in the city, right? Like,
Yeah.
So you grew up in what area of Calgary?
In the south, so like in Shaughnessy area. That's where, yeah.
And I feel like it doesn't matter, small town or whatever. Like it's your environment, and I think that like for such a long time, it's like the sad thing is like some people never wake up to the fact of the environment they're in. Like they don't think it's bad, but like it's so normalized and it becomes such a part of them that they actually just think this is like enjoying life. Like we had some girl that bought coffee last night and she was like, oh, I only drink my coffee with Baileys. And she's like, life is short. Drink Baileys. And I was like, I used to think that.
Yeah.
I used to think life is
way.
short. Enjoy it.
Yeah, might as well enjoy it.
How do you enjoy it? You get drunk on a beach with Coronas and you go have fun with your boys and your friends and stuff like that. And that's how you enjoy life.
Yeah.
And there's just people that just like think that is enjoying life.
Yeah. I know you don't drink at all anymore, but I did like the 75 hard program, and I
love it.
Yeah, I didn't drink for those 75 days, and it really changed my perspective on alcohol for sure. Like
Let's talk about 75 hard, because I'm on day 5 right now.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I gotta go do a workout after this.
Okay.
But 75 hard is literally the reason I'm sober today.
Okay.
It's the reason I turned my life around, because when I found 75 hard, it was around 2019, and I was dating this girl, and I was obviously, where were we at? We were coming into the pandemic. So it was just before the pandemic. And I remember just like, I was lost. I was living in my hometown. Like when I moved back from Nashville, I went on this cross Canada tour, and I spoke at 90 high schools.
Okay.
And I kind of shared my story. I realized while I was on the road, though, I was saying all these things to these kids that I wasn't actually doing in my life. Like I felt like I was already talking like I turned my life around.
Yeah.
But I was still in active addiction.
Yeah.
So I was like, I remember there were times when I'd sneak off to a bar after a show, or I'd be outside smoking cigarettes with the seniors of the high school. And I was like, I still didn't think there was a problem there. And like, it takes me now looking back on that, it's like, wow. But I remember around 2019, I was dating this girl. We were just partying every weekend. We thought we were in a healthy relationship. I went out to Vancouver to visit her. We went to Tofino. We were drinking beers on the beach and stuff like that. And you think like life is just perfect.
Yeah.
I come home. We're doing a long distance. We break up. She introduced me to 75 Hard while we were dating, and she was just like, hey, there's this guy named Andy Frisella. Like, I feel like you dig his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I started listening to his podcast, and then found 75 Hard. And when I was single, I jumped on it. I jumped on it, and just like, I was single. I just got my heart broken. Like, this is the first girl I ever said I love you to.
Yeah.
Like, I thought this was the one. We break up. I'm in shambles.
Yeah.
Living back with my parents, around the age of 28 years old. I'm single now. I have no future. I'm like, dark thoughts. Like, everything is just coming at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing 75 hard. I jumped on it like the next day, wrote it out, and same thing. It changed my mind about drinking, but I still had a lot of learning to do. Mm-hmm. But tell me your first experience.
I still like kind of feel the same. Like I did it, and I feel like after I used to do every Friday, Saturday. Like I would just get wasted, get blackout drunk every weekend, and I feel like I did that since I was 20. Yeah. But after doing that, it's like when I finished it, I almost felt like I didn't need to drink anymore. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have that, like, I could still have fun and do stuff without needing a drink, right? Yeah. So, and you just realize how much it takes away from, I don't know, productivity and like just from living life in a better way, I guess. You're hungover every Sunday and you waste a whole day just laying in bed, right? Like, so like I still drink now in moderation, and I still have my nights out and stuff like that, but it definitely did change my perspective on it for sure.
How did you find the first couple weeks of the program? Like, was it kind of felt like you were twiddling your thumbs? Like did you feel kind of like awkward, socially awkward, like at a bar?
Yeah, that was one thing. Like, if you go out with people and everybody's drinking and they're like, why aren't you drinking? I'm like, well, I'm doing this thing for me. And they're like, and people were like, push you to drink. That's what I felt. Everyone's just like, come on, you don't need to do that. Like, you're fine. You don't need to, like, just have a drink. I felt like that was always every time I went out. It was just the pressure. Like, yeah, because it's just so normal. Yeah,
I know. And that's exactly like, friends pushing alcohol on you. Like, that was a hard battle for me in the beginning. Like, I remember I had to completely shut myself off around the world. So like I quit drinking in October of 2021, and to me, long-term sobriety was like never a thing. Mm-hmm. I was like, I've taken a month off drinking. I've taken 2 months off drinking before. Yeah. And I was like, I felt better. Yeah. I felt better after it. And then I'd ease back in, and then life would just go back in the gutter again. Go back to our drinking as much as we did. Yeah. So I said to someone, I was like going on like a 2-week kind of like, I wanted to quit for a month. I wanted to quit for like, I think it was one of those dry Januaries or whatever. And I wanted to quit for a month. And I was just like, okay, I'll start this. So I was going 2 weeks. Same thing happened. I played a show in Airdrie, and the guy was just like, hey, you want a beer? And I was like, it's dry January. I'm actually quitting for a month. And he's just like, no, you're not. And I'm just like, it's true. I'm not. Give me that. And I'm just like, and I did that, and I went back. And then my last big, huge weekend was when I opened up for Gord Bamford up in Fort McMurray. And I think something knew that this was my last hurrah. Yeah. I had the craziest weekend of my life, drinking and drugs and just going absolutely mayhem. Yeah. And it was just something that I was just like, no. And I woke up that Monday, and I think it was actually Thanksgiving or something. And I remember just waking up the next day, and I was like, I'm done for a period. Like, I need a long break. And I said to myself, I'm not going to drink until something big happens. So I went online. I ordered an expensive bottle of champagne, about $150 of champagne. Yeah. And it was a Moet. And I just got a custom label on it. And I said, I'll open this at 1 million streams. And I was like, I'm just gonna go hard into my music. And if I happen to get 1 million streams on a song, I will crack this bottle and drink it with like some close friends. Yeah. And after 3 months of not drinking, my friend was like, if you've ever done 3 months without drinking, like, why are you going back? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, is your life better? I'm like, my life is so much better without it. Yeah. And then she was just like, keep going. Like, see how much longer you can go. And then it became a challenge. It became a challenge to me because I'm like, I'd see that sober app and I was just like 4 months, 5 months. Oh, you're only like 8 months off from a year.
Yeah.
What could you do in a year of sobriety? And then like, I still thought I was going back to drinking after a year. And on my year sobriety date, I went on a 12-hour walk with no music, just a backpack and a whole bunch of lunch and snacks. And I went for a walk because I wanted to just like do something crazy on my 1 year sobriety.
Yeah.
And it hit me. It hit me like, I think I was walking home from it and I just started like tearing up. And I was just like, this is the first time I actually believe that I can continue doing this. Like, this is my new life.
Yeah.
Like I can keep going. Like I'm not going back. And that champagne bottle smashed in my truck on like a winter day somewhere. And I think I was moving. So that was gone. And I think that was God's way of saying like, you're not going back.
You're not going back. Yeah.
And yeah, man. And now it's been 2.5 years. And it's just like we were saying before, it's like, now I'm with my girlfriend that she doesn't drink and like the environment. And it's just like, I just can't imagine going back now.
Going back to it.
I just feel like, you know, I've just been so far away from it for so long. I just don't see myself going back now.
Yeah.
And like now, like
that's awesome.
75 Hard is just kind of like, it's what started for me. It kind of gave me that, man, you can go 75 days without it. But my first time through, I stopped 75 Hard. On day 76, I went to my patio and I shotgunned 2 Coors Lights. Like that's how
You're
like
celebrating.
Yeah. Because it was a challenge to me.
Yeah.
Like 75 Hard was a challenge.
Yeah.
Now it's like my life. It's almost like a way of life.
Way of life now.
I recalibrate myself every year by doing 75 Hard.
Yeah.
And it gets me into like my channel focus.
Yeah.
But back then it was a challenge. It was just to be cool and do a social media thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where 75 Hard is stuck right now, which like, I hate that it's become so mainstream.
Yeah.
And so many TikTokers and so many like Instagram people have taken a hold of it because they're still in that mindset of it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, like this is, it's possible to do this as your life.
Yeah.
But like people are just like, oh, once you complete it, it's impossible to like continue like this. And it's just like, well, yeah, but the Live Hard program is 50% of the year.
Yeah.
On the 75 Hard program.
Yeah. And everybody alters it now too. They do like 75 soft or whatever they call it. I'm like, it's not going to help you.
The worst.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And like, I've got to squash something right now. Like I remember like the problem is when people listen to the rules, I feel like my girlfriend calls me like a 75 Hard Nazi because I'm just like, I'm so grilled into like Andy Frisella's brand that like, I've known the 75 Hard protocol since 2019. And the one thing that like, they hear the rules from like a Forbes account or like some social media post. And they pretty much just think they can do it just like, it's just like, hey, okay, here you go do it. And the one that makes me mad is doing the back-to-back workouts. Like some people will do a workout in the gym and they'll go for a 45-minute workout outside and then they put it as their 2 workouts. Yeah. I'm like, no, you need 2 to 3 hours before. And I was just like, so I see people doing that. I'm just like, I want to call them out, but I'm like, they're still getting fitness and they're still getting their life in order.
Yeah. They're still trying at least.
They're still trying, but like, it's just like, like doing the program right with no exceptions.
Yeah.
That is a true challenge.
It is a challenge and you feel amazing at the end. Like,
yeah. And how long did it take for you to go back to drinking after?
I don't know. Like maybe a couple weeks after. I don't think I drank right away. It was pretty chill. It wasn't like I just went right back to partying again.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm definitely going to do it again. I tried to do 75 Hard earlier in the year, but I lost my dog and I kind of had like a moment where I was like, I need a beer after that. So, but I do want to try the Live Hard program. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like I just started on May. So I've failed the Live Hard program on phase 3 the last 2 years.
Okay.
So,
and phase 3 is what? I can't remember.
Phase 3 is like 30 days leading up to your anniversary of 75 Hard. So like you almost have to like, you take 5 months off pretty much. and then it's like, whew, you got to push yourself into it, and then, but it always used to fall on winter.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go out and talk to strangers, and it would be around Christmas, and like, yeah, both Live Hard programs landed in December the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Traveling, going back with family, seeing pumpkin pie and apple pie.
Yeah.
You know, I'm only
Gets a little hard.
so strong.
Yeah.
But I just remember I failed, and I was just like, I was pissed at myself, but I was like, there's next year.
Give yourself grace.
But now I timed it out to like do it in May. So now my phase 3 is going to fall in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, so we're getting close to the end. I want people to kind of understand like where are you at now? Like, so like talk about kind of your project with like Wilder.
Okay.
And
yeah.
like where are you in your life right now, and kind of some things you're working towards?
So yeah, like currently I'm playing with all the guys I used to play with back in the day. I'm in a band called Wilder. So it's me and my best friend Dennis. We're like a duo, and then our hired band is all the old players before. We've been a band since we started in COVID. So we recorded a whole EP literally in his kitchen and in my basement over COVID when we were just hibernating. And then we've been going hard ever since. I mean, the last year's been a little bit slow. I had a kid, so took some time off to just focus on that and whatnot. But we have a show coming up June 1st at Ranchman, so we'll be back.
There you go.
Yeah,
like
back playing, and summer's coming, right? So all the rodeo stuff, and it'll get busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I know Dennis, and obviously he's a producer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that helps so much to have the songs and produced by him and
100%.
creating albums and EPs, because that's where a lot of the money goes.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do you feel the music has changed since having a kid and a son?
I know like the music we were kind of writing before was more, I would say like, not really bro country, but like some of the songs were about drinking and partying and stuff like that and having a good time. And now that I like have a kid, I like the stuff I think about writing, and the stuff that I write at home is more like, more meaningful from the heart, like stuff. And I'm sure I will write a song about him someday, because it's definitely changed my life having a kid, for sure. It's not something I ever knew would happen for me, but it's it's definitely changed my life for the better. So
yeah, I'm excited, man. I think you guys have such an amazing like branding, and like you guys have you've especially since you've been in the industry, how to like build a local following and bring them out to shows, and like you guys already done that. Like you guys packed up Ranchman's.
Yeah, we sold it out by 8:00 our first show. It was like
that's literally the hardest thing to do as an independent country, duo and stuff like that, right? Is like get people out to your shows, but you've been down that road.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, you have all the pieces. Now it's just like, bringing it all together. But like, I definitely noticed that. Like I listened to Wilder music, and it was just like, I was already out of that kind of party scene. Yeah. And I listened to it. I'm just like, man, they've got the makings to be massive. Yeah. And like, they're going to attract an audience. Yeah. They're going to get that the younger 20s that are like wanting to go to Stampede and get lit and just 100%. Like fire it up. Yeah. And I'm like, that's their market. Like, I'm not their market. Yeah. I'm not their demographic. Yeah. But like, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see kind of how you grow as, as a father and as a man and stuff like that. It's like, I'm interested to see kind of where the music goes, because I think that's what we need more Cody Johnsons. We need more people that are willing to really write songs from the heart.
100%.
Like songs that actually change people's lives and bring people out of like really dark spots and like give them a second chance. And like, we need more of that.
I feel like those are the best songs. You write the best music when you're going through the darkest stuff, I feel like, I
know.
Yeah. So like, we have a bunch of songs in the vault that I'm just like waiting to release that are just, definitely a different vibe from the Wilder that's out there right now. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Check them out. Wilder is spelled Wildr, and they are an awesome duo. They put on a killer live show. Obviously, they have a band that's had the on stage chemistry for a long time. So definitely check out Wilder next time they're playing a show. But man, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, and I think that we definitely. We went deep on some things about like I think the music industry and kind of like understanding like kind of your signing and kind of where you are now, and just how much of a healthier spot you're in now, and I think the drinking in moderation and stuff like that, and I think that all changes, right? Like wanting to be a good role model for your son and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, it definitely makes you think, who is he looking up to?
100%. Yeah,
it can change some things. But awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on. And,
thanks so much. I was glad I could come and and meet you and
I guess we haven't really met.
We talk online all the time, but never in person. So
awesome. Yeah. Man. Well, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to kind of hearing new music and seeing what you guys do.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.